This recitation concerns an old gentleman who was very, very lonely. It's called The Answer to a Prayer. I've always been a working man. Since the day I finished school, I was never much for learning, but I could always work a tool. And at the age of 18 years, I crossed the Irish Sea and I chippied for McAlpine back in 1953. But back I came to Ireland, my health it wasn't sound, and I started doing little jobs for the neighbours all around. Still to keep me going, I still can earn my bread. At the moment I am busy painting Paddy Murphy's shed. If you ever come to our town and walk along our street, it's there you'll see my handiwork on houses, nice and neat. You see that fine post office, standing stately on its own, 'tis I that built that entrance and pointed all that stone. At the entrance to the chapel I erected 2 fine gates and later roofed the convent with the best blue banker slates. I painted all the pubs in town and the Garda barracks too. That's the reason why my dungarees are mostly coloured blue. Well, one evening last October, I met up with Father Brown and he told me that the plaster in the church was falling down. He found it in the sanctuary and he had an awful dread that a lump of it might fall at Mass and strike him on the head. So I got my longest ladder and I went up that very day, working for the parish. You always get your pay. I went up behind the altar, and with no delay at all, I saw it was a leaking roof that caused the plaster fall. Well, the place was very quiet, and I sat there for a while, and I listened as the footsteps came slowly down the aisle. And then I saw an old man, so feeble and so grey, as to the candelabra he slowly made his way. There he lit 2 candles, and he placed them on the stand, and from my perch above the altar I could see his shaking hands. Then he knelt and joined his hands, and he began to pray. And in that stony silence I could hear what he did say. Lord, this candle is for Johnny, our child who died at 4. It nearly broke my heart the day his coffin left our door. Oh Lord, perhaps I'm selfish. I know you're meek and mild, but I never ever understood why you took our only child. This other is for Kathleen, my dear departed wife. It's just 2 years tomorrow she departed from this life. I know she pined for Johnny, but never said a word. The 2 of them are happy now in heaven with you, Lord. Oh, Lord, I'd love to join them and see my Kathleen smile and put my arms round Johnny and hold him for a while. Life for me is lonely now. I'm living on my own. And you know, I have this awful fear of dying all alone. Oh Lord, you know I'm not afraid to see the promised land, but I'd love someone beside my bed to maybe hold my hand. Oh Lord, I hope you're listening to this old man's lonely cry, and may someone be beside me when it comes my time to die. And there was I, so quietly sat with just a swallow's view. But I felt the Lord had challenged me to do what I must do. I never give a moment's thought to people on their own, who live each day that awful fear that old man had known. And there and then I made a vow that I would be concerned. We are our brother's keeper. That's the lesson I have learned. Well, the old man struggled to his feet, and shuffled down the aisle. But strange, but something told me I should watch him for a while. And as he reached the chapel door, I'm happy now to tell that right beside the water font I caught him as he fell. I brought him back inside the church and gently laid him down. And who came in behind us but the PP, Father Brown? And with my arm around him, I could see that dying stare, and he softly whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for answering my prayer." And with the final sacrament and the victory he had won, the Lord could now unite him with his wife and infant son. And I begged forgiveness for the idle hours I'd spent without a thought for others, not while I was content. There are many, many people who are lonely all the while, who would love to hear a cheerful word, who would love to see a smile. Perhaps it's 'cause I'm older now. I see the reason why. We'd all love someone beside us when it comes our time to die. Thank you for listening.